Peace, blessings, and salutations. My name is Yurima Karama, coming to you with another segment of Voices from Behind the Wall. Um, in this particular segment, I want to talk about friends and uh, particularly friends that some of the friends that I had behind the wall, but more importantly, friends in general, because I think sometimes we accept people on a certain level, and we understand that they're going to be on that level regardless. But if we're true friends, we understand that they're going to be on that level. That's who they are, and to a certain point, it's almost like a person plays their position. That's who they are. I like to compare it to like our soldiers that go to war. Um, some of our soldiers have other skills uh, besides going to war, besides taking orders. But in some cases, some of our soldiers, that's all they know. All they know is how to be a soldier. And you know what? That's all right, because in life that's needed. I mean, if we lived in the perfect world, we wouldn't need soldiers, we wouldn't need armies, we wouldn't need those things because in the perfect world, nobody would be trying to hoard resources from somebody else. Nobody would allow their fellow man to starve. Nobody would be worried about, oh, this person's going to go on a killing spree, or this country's going to try to take over this country. So, in a perfect world, there would be no need for armies and soldiers and that sort of thing. Well, reality check is that we're far, very far from the perfect world. So, I say all that to say, certain people play their positions, and as friends, we meet them on their positions. So I want to talk about two friends today: a brother named Mad Dog, and another brother we'll call him Big O. These two gentlemen were basically polar opposites of one another. Mad Dog was more of a Muhammad Ali type, but a warrior. He's a warrior, and warriors are needed. You know, that's all Mad Dog was, though, was a warrior. And you know what? I respect that. Could he have been? Could he have been more? Uh, you know, Absolutely. Environmental things had changed. If his upbringing had probably been a little bit different, if he had had more opportunities other than the corner drugstore and the corner liquor store and those things that offer nothing. Had he been afforded more opportunities? Absolutely. I think so many people could be so much more if afforded the opportunities that others tend to get. Mad Dog didn't get those opportunities, so Mad Dog was a warrior. Um, Big O, just the opposite. Very humble, very very laid back, very not too much to say, but when you come in this brother's presence, uh, if I'm coming with any BS or nonsense, he's not going for it, and he's not the one to play games with. Mad Dog was more, like I said, more like the Muhammad Ali type. Will tell you, look, don't come. I'm gonna mess you off. I love the drama. Live for it. Matter of fact, I'll take you, pull your knife. I'm going to take it from you, then stab you with it. That kind of thing. And you're not doing nothing to my man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get to him, you got to get through me, and you're not getting through me. He was that type, and like Ali would back that up. What made these brothers special, and the reason that I wanted to talk about them is because, like I said, man, people play their positions, man, and I think that needs to be respected. We have people that they're here for a purpose, and sometimes that purpose is to aid and assist us on our journey. These two brothers, and they didn't know one another. Uh, I was at different institutions with them. They didn't know one another, but they both had life sentences, and both made a commitment verbally. to me and was like, yo, you're going to make it out. Urema, we can't make it. You know, Mad Dog used to tell me all the time, brother, I can't make it, but I can make sure you make it. You know, and by him saying that, you know, there's things in you know in prison politics, man, that, you know, and it's even out here in society, I mean, it's a reality, even as sad as it is. Like you have groups like, if two people get into it now, um, let's say they can't get you, they go after your family members. And as sad as it used to never be like that, but it has come to that, and it's played the same way behind the wall. You know, let's say one of your partners gets into it with somebody else, and he gets out on them. They both go to the hole. Well, the somebody else that your partner got into it with, now his partner or partners might come see you because that was your guy, and your guy got out on their guy, and you know, it's really should have been left between those two, but unfortunately, it doesn't always go like that. And so, as I got further into my bit, you know, and I was able to start seeing some possibilities of daylight. Um, and I always say I'm tapped into universal law. I call God the universe, and I always say that I'm tapped into universal law, that I'm tapped into a source that has unlimited resources, and the only way that I will not be tapped into that source is if I unplug myself. And I truly believe that. So I believe that the universe put these brothers in my path, directly in my path, to aid and assist me on my journey. And like I said, Mad Dog's thing was like, yo, I'm gonna make sure you make it, bruh, because you know you got a good head on your shoulders. You got a chance to make it. You got a chance to make some changes. I don't have no chances, Yareem. I'm here. This is my lot in life. And you know what? Mad Dog was almost like he was accepting of that, even though I wasn't. Big O was never accepting of it. Again, two different people, but both warriors, and both uh, put their life on the line for me. And you know, there was a situation, as I was just explaining, like when one of your partners or friends gets out on somebody, and then they come to try to do that, and they'll just pick. It could be anybody, random. It could be anybody. You don't know who's going to take the hit. You know, so um, that was a situation that kind of happened. I had a partner, and he got into it with some guys, and because they couldn't get him, they decided that they were going to, um, out of all the friends he had, they were going to pick me. Uh, now, with that said, I'm not a punk. Never have been. I will fight, as some have learned even on here. Even in the comment section, I'll cuss you out and have no problem with it, and really don't care how you feel. So I'm not a punk, but at the same time, when you don't know when the hit is coming, when you don't know that you know a plot is being planned against your life. But this is where the friendship comes in. Like, somebody revealed to Mad Dog, who was cool with him, that, yo, man, you know they're probably try to hit Urema. They told the wrong person. Um, and Mad Dog basically, he was like, yo, and he had a crew. He had a crew. And they wasn't all homeboys. They wasn't all even from his state. He just got that kind of respect. Like I said, kind of guy that lived for the drama. You know, you're not gonna, didn't like bullies. Bullies had nothing coming with him. And not that he was always out, looking for it, but if it did come his way, he was more than willing and would do it with a smile on his face, like putting in work. He let them know by no uncertain means, this one right here, you ain't touching him. He makes it home. And quite frankly, if you're even thinking about it, it'll be a bloodbath. And they knew he meant that. So even with the politics, even with prison politics, he kind of got his point across. And same thing with O. Even though O was very humble, and I never put myself in a situation, like I always tell people, my first 3 years, that was my wild stage. After that, it became my university. So I never put myself in those situations to put anybody in jeopardy, because my thing is always that if you're a friend, you're not going to jeopardize friends. You're not going to put them in a bad situation. And if you're going to put yourself in a situation as a friend, you need to be able to handle that, because you don't want to jeopardize somebody else, especially if you have love for that person. If they're a friend and you love that friend, you're not gonna put them in a situation to get them jacked off, so to speak. And so, these were two brothers, man, that went above and beyond, and they let me know, man, we're gonna make sure you make it. We're gonna make sure you make it out, man. And that's one of the reasons, and I still keep in contact, and it's one of the reasons it would like why I make it a point, man, to try to do what I can out here, because you don't always get those chances. You don't always get people that even care about you like that, because most of the time it's crabs in a barrel, especially in there. Most people, they don't want to see you get out. It's like that sinking Titanic ship. There's very few people that want to see you make it on the lifeboat with the life vest. Most of them want you to sink with them. It's very few people. Most people in life who want to see you make it would be your mother or your girl, if you've chosen the right girl. And outside of that, man, it's very, when you get friends, man, who want to see you make it, that means something, man. And that's why I do what I do, man, because, and it would be so embarrassing. I would have to lower my head in shame if I went back and these brothers saw me, because it would be like, we knew, of all people, you would make it. And it would be like, that's the checks and balances for me, man. You don't want to let people down who got your back, man. You don't want to let them down. So, Mad Dog, Big O, man, it's always much love. And even though I know you probably can't see this, if ever you can, there's no amount of gratitude or appreciation I can give. My name's Yurima Karama, coming to you with another segment of Voices from Behind the Wall. You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go to my webpage, www.yurimakarama.com. You can find out about my performance locations, my performance dates, the venues where I'll be performing, spoken word poetry, hip hop. I'm still working on my book. It's not going to be done in the time that I thought it would. I'm really putting my foot into it, so I'm looking at a later release date. I'm also working on the album as well, and that will actually probably be done before the book, but I'm working on both simultaneously. I appreciate all the support everyone has given me and continues to give, and I will continue to feed. I will continue to fight. I will continue to help make the necessary changes that we need, especially within myself. With that said, I'm out.